Hey everyone, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and today we've got a different video for you, and that's because I had my third child this week. So it's kind of a crazy week. Was not expecting to have our daughter Ireleigh quite so soon. She was about 5 weeks early, and this week was a bit crazy. Had to go to the hospital, emergency C-section, was not in the office hardly at all. And what I want to talk about today is how I've set my business up to be able to do things like this, go on vacation, take time off, and not freak out and worry about everything falling apart. And that's kind of something that everybody who owns a business, who's an entrepreneur, who's an investor, should really strive to do. You don't want to create a business so you just have a job and are working all the time. You want to create a business so that it kind of runs by itself and will work without you constantly doing things. So I'm going to talk a lot about that and how I've set things up. I'll show you some cute baby pictures too if you want to see those, and we'll go from there. Of course, check out investformore.com for more information on our flips, rentals, being an agent, all that good stuff. Our flip page has more than 70 properties on it now with before and after videos, and all my 20 rentals are listed on there too as well, including the 68,000 square foot strip mall that we bought and where my office is right now too. But doing all this, doing the blog, buying rentals, doing 26 flips a year, I can't do that all on my own. There's no possible way I could do it. I've written 6 books, which I'll talk about too, and it's a lot of stuff. But I don't work 70 hours a week or 60 hours a week or 50 hours a week. I probably work close to 40, and almost all the things I do are fun for me. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy going to work on Mondays. It's not something I dread. I'm not always looking for the weekend to be off of work. It's fun for me. And I've created this business, this life, where I do things I enjoy, that are exciting, that are fun, and I delegate everything else that I can. Now, once in a while, there's some things I do that I can't delegate, that I don't like doing, but most of the time, I do the things that are fun, and I can tell other people to do the other stuff. And it was not easy to do all that. It took a lot of time and work, but it sure does pay off when you get things set up the right way. The first thing to know is that you can't do everything yourself, and you're not the best at doing everything either. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs, people in our position, think that we're the best at everything. We have to do it all ourselves because nobody else can do it as good. They're going to mess it up. Everything's going to get destroyed if we give up any control, and that's simply not the case. And when I was really starting to come into my own and become successful, it was from listing REO properties for banks or foreclosures. So at one point, I was selling 200 houses a year as a real estate agent for banks. Most of them were HUD homes. And I had properties that were, half a mile away from me, and I had properties that were 90 miles away from me. And at one point, I was working 12, 14 hours a day, driving all over the state of Colorado, doing reports, filing expenses, listing properties in the MLS, just doing all the work myself. And it was really fun and exciting in the start because it's something new. It was an incredible opportunity, but it did not become fun and exciting all the time, especially with my family, my wife, our kids that we eventually had. It was cumbersome and crazy and stressful, and I had to hire people to help with that. So one of my biggest holdups was, well, no one else can do a BPO, a broker price opinion, as good as me, or nobody else will do the inspections as good as me, or things won't get done on time if I give up some of this control. And I ended up hiring Nikki, who still works for me, is my project manager. You hear about her all the time, 9 years ago. And she started working part-time helping with the REO business. I taught her how to do BPOs, taught her how to do invoicing to banks, taught her how to do the busy work, paperwork that I really hated doing. And it was hard for me to give up that control. But once I let her start doing some of that work, I realized that things were getting done faster and better than when I did it all myself. When you're that busy, when you're always doing things, you let things slide. You don't do, some of the little stuff. You hurry through tasks. You just don't do them as well as you should. And my business got better when I gave up some of those tasks and had someone else help me. So that was a huge benefit. Eventually she became a full-time assistant. Then she got a real estate license, was doing all my BPOs, helping with inspections. I hired my uncle in Denver and some people in other towns to help with inspections. Hired a bookkeeper eventually to help with my taxes, doing that. That was so nice. I hate taxes, and doing that and handing that off was just an amazing thing. And eventually, I've done a lot of coaching myself, gone to masterminds, really tried to improve my business and in my life. And you realize just kind of the more things you can delegate that you don't like doing, even simple things like mowing your lawn, the happier you'll be, and the more time you have for the really important things. You really want to work on your business, not in your business. And I made kind of a cool Instagram post here I'm going to show you in just a second that kind of shows you the starting points of really how to start delegating and improving things. So now you can see the Instagram post I did yesterday. And just so you guys know, I post a ton of stuff on Instagram right now. I create a lot of these memes, tips, advice. I have a lot of graphs because my nephew Alex is working for me now and he loves making graphs. And I love that he makes graphs. So we have a lot of unique stuff on here. Just follow investformore.com, invest F-O-U-R-M-O-R-E. And we're not just posting the same like motivational stuff all day long, but really cool. The same for our Facebook page. We also post a lot of unique stuff there too. So, posted this yesterday just while I was camera friends in the hospital at our home with our kids because we had to go in Tuesday. I went around noon because my wife Jeni had an NST that didn't show up right. They told her to go to the hospital. Ended up having Ireleigh by emergency C-section at 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday. So I was out all day Tuesday. Spent the night in the hospital Wednesday. Most of Wednesday I was in the hospital. Came home a little bit to take care of the dogs, and our kids were staying with friends, which was great. Stayed again Wednesday night. Thursday, spent a lot of time in the hospital as well. Then picked up our kids, hung out with them most of the afternoon and evening. Managed to stay at home last night, which was nice. And then today, have a few hours of work while our kids are at friends again, and then going to go back to the hospital. So I haven't had much time at all to work on the business. And the reason is because I have Nikki, because I have staff, because I've hired people who help me do everything. And that's just kind of what this post is about. And you don't have to start out hiring a full-time person to get to that point. The first thing I already talked about, you have to realize that you don't have to do everything. Others are often better at tasks than you. It's really good to focus on one or two things that you're really good at and let other people focus on things they're really good at. The second thing is hire professionals to complete the busy work. Like I said, hire a bookkeeper to keep track of your expenses and accounting. Hire an accountant to do your taxes. Hire landscapers to do your lawn if you don't like doing it. A lot of people think it's the manly thing. You have to mow your lawn or else you lose your man card. I don't care what other people think about me. I will let someone mow my lawn for $45 all day long when it takes me 2 hours and I have to go get gas. I have to sharpen the mower blades. I have to get rid of the grass. Like, it saves me so much time. I'd rather be out there planting a tree or doing other stuff that creates in the yard with my kids where I can talk to them and hang out with them instead of mowing the lawn where it's so noisy I can't do anything and I'm by myself. Plus, I'm really allergic to grass, so I really hate mowing the lawn. Hiring cleaners, hiring people to do payroll, so many different things where you can hire a professional. It takes almost no work. You don't have to hire them on your payroll or anything like that. They've already got their business company set up, so that's something. Hiring virtual assistants. If you've got specific tasks can only be done in your business. If you're, want people to call leads that come in for sellers or skip trace people to find out where they live or scrub through different lists, send out letters, handwrite notes, edit things, whatever it is, there's virtual assistants who can do almost anything. Now, I personally have not used very many virtual assistants because I've had people in the office who will help with all that stuff, but that's another option that's very cheap, very easy to get started with. Finally, hire a part-time assistant. That's what I did. You don't have to hire someone full-time, but you have to take your time hiring people. One really good piece of advice is slow to hire, quick to fire, because if people aren't working out, if you can't get along with them, they bring a negative energy. You don't want them in your office. You don't want to be around them. So really take your time hiring people. Don't be afraid to have multiple interviews. Don't be afraid to give them tasks before you hire them. I like to give any agent who wants to work in my office a book and have them read the book before they come in for a second interview. Almost no one will do it. If they aren't willing to read a book, then I'm not willing to spend my time training them. Finally, hiring full-time staff. I hired Nikki full-time after she worked out well. We've hired other full-time people who have worked out great, others who have not worked out great. And it's a process. Sure, it's work. It takes time to get this, worked out in the right way, but it's so worth it. It's so amazing once you have the right people, once you can rely on them. And when you can send someone some basic instructions to complete a task and they have it back to you in a couple hours, it's a wonderful feeling. And I just love it when people do what you say and are good at their job and happy to do it. If you can find those people, hang on to them. Don't be afraid to pay them too much money and treat them well. That's my advice. So those are some tips to really start delegating, help you get in a place where you can take vacations, you can get sick and not be worried about it, you can go on your honeymoon, you can do stuff without worrying about your business falling apart. Hiring property managers, another thing that take a ton of time off people's plate who are in the real estate business. When I went on my honeymoon 10 years ago, my wife hated me because I was doing BPOs and working almost the whole time. I spent half my time on my honeymoon working because I had tasks that had to be done in 24 to 48 hours and no one to help me. So really important if you want to be free, happy, and have a business, that you start delegating, start handing off some of these tasks. I know I'm not a huge self-promoter, but I'm going to be right now. Just so you know, I've written 6 books. These are paperback books. 3 of them are audio books to help people, to teach them real estate, mindset, all kinds of different things. And this is the one book, How to Change Your Mindset to Achieve Huge Success, which really helps people with this entire hiring, happiness, delegating, just wealth building, all types of things. How having a positive attitude will help you. And I completely rewrote this book this year. So if you happen to buy this book before this year, it's way better now. Like, I completely added chapters, rearranged the entire thing, rewrote the whole thing. It's much better now. It's on Amazon as a paperback, Kindle book. This one is not audiobook yet, but eventually it may be if you guys buy enough of them. Anyway, so that's one of them right there. Great book for helping you build your business. Some of the other ones, How to Buy a House. I wrote this one to help everybody, not just investors, learn the ins and outs of how buying a house works. Title insurance, inspections, appraisals, showings, real estate agents, lenders, title companies, all that stuff. I went over the basics because so many people want to invest in real estate and don't even know how it works to buy or sell a house. So great book for that as well. This one is also paperback, Kindle on Amazon. We did 26 flips last year, 26 flips the year before that. We're trying to do more than that this year. We'll see if it happens or not. Fix and Flip Your Way to Financial Freedom goes through all of my flipping business techniques, strategies. How to finance, find deals, repair them, find contractors, sell houses, how much to repair. All of that stuff is in here. Fantastic book. This one is an audiobook. It is paperback and it is Kindle as well on Amazon. So again, great book for the flipping business. This is my pride and joy. Build a Rental Property Empire. This is also an audiobook, paperback, Kindle. This one goes through all my strategies for buying rentals, financing, finding, repairing, managing, what to look for, the numbers, and I added a commercial chapter. So this one, a month ago, is different than my previous Build a Rental Empire books. I added a full chapter on commercial real estate about how I've delved in to commercial real estate after starting out residential. Can't make much money in residential in Colorado, but I am still making money in commercial. Fantastic book. I think we've sold 30,000 copies of this or something, so check that one out. This is the book I give to agents who want to interview with me. How to Make It Big as a Real Estate Agent goes over everything about being a real estate agent, what to expect, how to make money, what the life is like, how much money you can make, how to find leads, how to find brokers, offices, all that stuff. Really good book. This one is being recorded in audio version right now. Not out yet, but will be soon. So check that one out again on Amazon. And finally, the book on negotiating real estate. Jay Scott and I, and Carol Scott, wrote this one. Really awesome book. Jay Scott was amazing putting this together. It is on audio, Kindle, paperback. Bigger Pockets is publishing it right now. So you can find that on the Bigger Pockets website or on Amazon. Fantastic book. So many tips and techniques on how to negotiate on the MLS, direct marketing, auctions, REOs, private sellers, all that stuff. Really good information. So that's something else to watch out for. And finally, my brand new book will be out next week. And that one is fiction. So I wrote a story completely made up about someone buying their first house, how to turn it into investment, their life, all of that stuff. So that's a little crazy, a little different than anything else I've done. I'm pretty excited to have that come out and see what people think. My whole thought process was, how can I help young people succeed in life? How can I make the biggest impact? And I decided writing a book that wasn't just information and strategy, but an actual story that would get young people interested in it, make them want to read it, not just for educational purposes, but because it's entertaining. Kind of like Rich Dad a little bit, but with more details on how to actually do things, how the loans work, how agents work, all that stuff. That's what I did with this book. So it will be out very soon. Carol Scott designed the cover for me, Jay Scott's wife, so that was awesome. And so be on the lookout for that. I'll be sure to add another video when that's ready. So remember, reading is something I love to do, even if it's not an educational book or fiction, but it's helped me out too. Just calms your mind, gives you so many ideas, helps you build business and think about things in the right way. So that's all I've got. This turned into a longer video than I thought it would, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, the goal of investing, of building a business, of being an entrepreneur is not to give yourself more work. It's to give yourself freedom to make money without having to work, to stop trading dollars for hours. So start building your business from the start with ideas on how you can delegate, how you can create a business, not just give yourself a job. And we'll end with some more pictures of Ireleigh Sloane Ferguson. Thanks a lot. Hope you guys enjoyed it.